What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I wasn't really planning on making a video this weekend about Zomedica, but I've had so many people reach out to me asking questions about what exactly happened on Friday. So I'm going to talk about that and what I think happened, and also what I think will happen going forward. But just so you can see, comments like this are popping up on my other videos. And I ask that if you want information right away on any sort of stock, just join the public free Discord. It's in the link. The link to it is in the description below. And if you do that, you can always reach out to me and ask me any questions. Also, we have a dedicated stock channel where we do talk about a lot of stocks. And we talked about Zomedica on Friday and exactly what our plan was too. So the news here really was a price target increase that saw Zomedica spike up massively. At the high point, it was sitting around 29 cents. Now, the reason it spiked was Dawson James. They put out a $6 price target on Zomedica. Now, I'm not going to talk about whether that's realistic or not right now. We'll get to that. But to understand why that holds some weight, we have to see who the hell is Dawson James? Because, any random Joe could say this, right? Well, they're an investment banking firm that specializes in the small and micro cap public and private growth companies, right? Zomedica is a prime company that kind of falls into this category. So now you understand that was the big catalyst, right? To see a huge move. Think about it this way. So Medica has how many shares again? It has so it's 230 million market cap. So that puts it, I think it's about a billion shares at this point, a little below a billion shares because of all the share offerings they did. This is not what they call a micro float. What that means is for every cent or every move you have in the stock's price, there's significant pressure because there's so many more stocks that have to go up, right? You have to clean out the order book. So let's say a stock's sitting at 20 cents and you want to get the price 21 cents. You have to fill all of the orders to buy or to sell at 20 cents and to sell at 21 cents for it to go higher. This makes it really hard for stocks that have been on a downward trajectory like Zomedica. Zomedica over the last year, over the last couple of years, it was sitting at like $2.50 and it went all the way down here. There are so many people holding onto a bag of Zomedica, and whether they bought it at 20 cents, 50 cents, a dollar, a lot of them are just looking to cash out, take their loss. Some people are actually being smart about this and holding and buying the dip and not financial advice. I'm going to talk about my strategy. What that means is every time we see a pump, there are a lot of people out there who are just looking to dump their bags of Zomedica. So, for example, I constantly preach on this channel that I look for opportunities to dip buy. But then those dip buys, I liquidate them every time a pump happens. So back in August, let's go back to this year. Let's go back to 2022. In August, we saw Zomedica jump to 38 cents. Now, I was dip buying in this range here between 20 and 25 cents. Once we hit like 32 cents, I had sold all of those new shares that I had bought. And once it came back down to 20 cents, I believe 23 cents, I bought some again. And once we broke 20 cents, I bought some again. So it's no surprise that when Zomedica pumped on Friday, I was looking for the inflection point. And hey, Zabu, how's it going? I'm just explaining, some stock advice right now. What I'm doing is I look for the inflection point, which is at a certain point, the selling pressure exceeds buying pressure. Once we hit that wall, we're going to see a sort of downward momentum. That happened around 29 to 30 cents. Like it was like 29.7, 29.6 cents. I had a sell order ready and opened. Mine filled to sell 3,000 shares. All 3,000 shares sold at like 28.4, 28.3 cents. And of course, it's not that much because I only sold 3,000 of my 15,000. I still hold 12,000 shares as a Medica. But guess what? I'm going to buy it again once it hits 20 cents. And I truly believe that this pump will not be sustained. And it's really two factors. The first is there are many sellers. just as many people who bought Zomedica over the last year, or they bought it when it was 20 cents. Once Zomedica went up 50% in this market, it's a surprise if people didn't sell, right? Hi, Sir Mur. Hope you're having a good night. Even myself, who strongly believes in Zomedica, I sold my 3,000 shares that I bought at 20 cents at, what was it, 28.3, 28.4 cents. That's like a $240 profit, right? Not a big deal, but you have to take every win you can get in this climate. The second part of this is look at the macro environment. The Fed has made it very clear they are not going to support any of the stock market pumps for a long time. They want to get inflation under control, and they believe. So, Sir Mur, Zomedica is a pet healthcare stock. It is focused a lot on the diagnostic platform they have in Truforma, but it also has acquired other animal products like PulseVet, which is deals with horses, and other diagnostic tools to sort of be the, people have called it the Tesla of pet healthcare. I don't really think it's that far, but I think it has a lot of potential. And Zomedica has really righted the ship from where they were a year ago. Prior to the PulseVet acquisition, this stock was like a rock. Like it was starting to just completely sink. They have really started to turn the ship. But in order for the stock to do well, or the stock price to do well, sorry, you have to do three things. One, the overall economic climate has to be good. Even right now, stocks like Apple, let's take a look right now. Apple. Look at Apple over the last year, it's down 25%. Apple is a very it's a company that everyone knows about. I'm using an iMac right now. I have my broken iPhone right here. Well, it still works, but the screen is broken. Everyone believes in Apple products, and yet the stock is down 25%. And that is one of the safest stocks out there. The market environment is not it's not ready for risky investments. So companies like Zomedica, which are more of a gamble than a stock like Apple, a stock like Microsoft, Tesla, although Tesla is down like 70% right now. Now's not the time to invest in it. Now's not the time for the stock to appreciate. What I have been doing is I have actually been buying this stock when the stock is underappreciated. Now I'm holding I'm holding 12,000, but I want to have 10,000 Zomedica long term for when it eventually hits $2 or higher. And I truly believe that it will. Obviously, that's my opinion. This is what I'm doing, not financial advice. So, you do whatever you want to do. I have videos that document my thesis all over this channel. I've done a huge deep dive on Zomedica about a year and a half ago, where I did like the bull, bear, and medium case and showed what my price targets were for myself. For a company to come in here and say Zomedica is worth $6, that's completely absurd in the short term. I think long term, when we have the Fed U-turn, when we have kind of the stock market do well, and when we have Zomedica as a company doing very well, which is like couple earnings showing a lot of growth. They're showing growth in revenue, but their expenses are still outpacing their revenue. And what that means is they're doing a net loss every single time they report. The other thing is this company was subject to a ton of share dilution. So management had sold so many shares. We have to slog through so many shares to see a big price increase. We have about 1 billion shares, a little less than 1 billion shares in circulation. That means every time you have a pump, there's going to be a lot of attrition to push it back down. So there's rate hikes that are still coming. I would not be focused on expecting this pump to go up. At this point, I really hope it's deja vu for you. When you look at the Zomedica stock over the last year, you can see many times where it spiked, sold off, spiked, sold off, and then spiked again. This graph is not really accurate because this should go all the way up to here because it was really like 30 cents, right? Like 29, 30 cents. What does that mean? Well, if you're shrewd and if you want to do what some people have done, they accumulate the stock when it's selling off and then they sell it when the stock is pumping. And that's right, Zabu. You got to secure the win. I think in the short term, that is, I think, the winning strategy. What's going to happen in the long term, or not long term, what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start to see Zomedica come back down. It might not happen on Monday morning. It might not happen on Tuesday morning. But mark my words, I truly believe that Zomedica will drop below 20 cents again in the next month or two. In the next month or two, it'll be down there. Now, there's one big positive that I do want to talk about. This catalyst, this $6 price target catalyst, did help us out a big deal. And let me explain why. Now, Zomedica is hosted on the NYSE American Exchange, slightly different than the NYSE. The NYSE has a listing requirement of being, the stock has to be at least $1 or above $1, or sorry, the stock can't be below $1 for 30 consecutive days. Now, the consecutive days in this case are trading days. So it's not really a month. It's like a month and 1.5 months or something like that, okay? What that means is for Zomedica, the NYSE American, the Zomedica stock had to be below 20 cents. Now, Zomedica hit, I think, broke the 20 cents barrier in like mid to late November. And this catalyst pump got us above that mark. So it actually gets rid of that potential issue we have with delisting because it buys us more time. Now, obviously, it doesn't get straight delisted if this didn't happen. What would have happened was they would have had like 6 months to get back into compliance, and that's a lengthy process. I believe it has to be 2 weeks above a certain amount. And then given that, they have to apply for another extension, and if not, they get delisted. This almost happened in 2020, I believe, like early 2020, where Zomedica was below the minimum requirement. They almost got delisted. They applied to get like a reverse split. Now, just so you know, a reverse split is the worst thing that can happen to a stock because it artificially increases the stock price. So like, let's say you take 10 shares of a company that's worth $1, and now you got one share worth $10, right? You take that equity and make it into less shares. What happens is those stocks now sell off another 90%. Reverse splits are literally one of the worst things you could ever do to a stock. And I'm so happy that Zomedica avoided it last time, and it looks like they'll avoid it this time. So very long, and I'm on my way to the gym after I'm done this video. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, to support the content. Like honestly, I'm coming on here late tonight for you guys, so you kind of have my thesis here. But I truly believe Zomedica is a great company. I truly believe long-term they will do fantastic. And I truly believe that now is the time for me, at least, to accumulate shares. And then I also have like these extra swing shares where I have a couple like, between 3,000 to 5,000 that every time it pumps, I sell those. And every time it dumps, I refill those bags. And that way I have been making money in 2022 on Zomedica. And most people can't say they've done that. So home, because they didn't hit the infraction, one day was enough to kind of wipe the slate clean. If they got the infraction, it would have been, I think, 2 weeks consistent where it had to close every day above that price. So this was definitely a positive, but don't get fooled, because the one thing I would say is there's a lot of hopium in this space. A lot of people will tell me, oh, I don't want to buy Zomedica when it's 19 cents, it keeps going down. But those same people will come to me and say, oh, I didn't sell Zomedica at 28 or 30 cents because I thought it would keep going up. Well, which one is it, right? And that's why I have the strategy where I have my hold and I have the shares that I want to swing, right? Because that allows me to not miss out if the stock keeps pumping, right? But at the same time, you've got to be realistic. What has changed about the economic climate because one random hedge fund or institution put out some news about a $6 price target? Nothing, right? What until we see the Fed change course, Zomedica's price is going to trade within this range unless Zomedica comes out with some incredible news, like some massive acquisition either of themselves or them acquiring something else. But that's why you want to make sure that you're stacking when it's underappreciated. I said this before, buy when ugly, sell when pretty. Anyways, that's it for tonight. 15-minute video, quick. pump the video, pump the video, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. And honestly, for those of you holding Zomedica, I really hope it pumps. I hope I'm wrong and that it keeps going up. I mean, I do still hold 12,000 shares. And let me tell you, if Zomedica goes to like 35 cents or higher this week, I will sell the remaining 2,000. So I still hold the core 10,000. But if reality has showed us anything, this is a rinse and repeat cycle. Okay. Now, just like Iosis Fruto, when you say 15 cents, what do you mean? And home, 100%. I think a lot of the work I've been doing with DeFi Kingdoms over the last 2 to 3 weeks has made me a lot more comfortable doing these live streams. I'm definitely going to start doing stock live streams because they take a lot less time. Like the prep time for this was 15 to 20 minutes. I just put up the browsers that I wanted to. And then the other thing is I don't have to video edit or anything else, and I can get you the content right away. I can talk about something without having to put together like an 8-hour process. Typically when I make a Zomedica video, I've got to make a thumbnail, script the video, shoot the video, edit it, and that's hoping that I have nothing else going on, right? So that's what makes it really tough to make those videos timely, right? I've tried to do those with the earnings reports. I haven't been as good about that since my job promotion recently, but I think the live streams will be a way to help that out. So if you enjoy that, like I said, like the video, subscribe, and share this video as well, because I'll do more of it if you guys want it. Good luck tomorrow. I hope the stock market pumps. Good night.